Mondays are supposed to be about morning routines, not any morning routine, but specifically a morning ritual for living by divine guidance. The routine that I propose is actually composed of 6 steps, which sounds like a lot, but some of them are very almost momentary. And the last step is about being in receiving mode throughout the day. So it's not even really particularly about the morning routine, it's the follow through. It's the whole point of the morning routine is to put you into a state of being in receiving, active listening, clearing out the gunk and getting to know yourself well enough and quieting yourself and your environment enough that you can hear the inner voice, which is transmitting messages to you from your intuition, your higher self, spirit guides of the highest truth and integrity, angels if you prefer, the divine, great spirit, source, the universe. But if you're not dialoguing with some kind of force or divine presence, then a lot of what I say is just not going to make sense to you. So the whole point of my course on these morning routines and building your own, because I do give you options of how you can substitute different practices for the ones that suit you best, which might even change and evolve over time. The whole point of these daily rituals is to put you in a place where you're receptive and you're in tune. This is why that I feel my course is actually a gift. That might sound pretentious, but I created this course because so many of my clients were asking me about what my routine was, and the reason they were asking me about it is that in sessions or in readings or in my consults, I'm always referring to it when people ask me about my evolving relationship with substances, my love relationship, how I started this business, how I found joy and purpose and balance in my day-to-day, and I'm very happy with my day-to-day life. And I always trace it back to the morning routine, which I know sounds like a quick fix solution, but it's not about what's happening while you're doing those practices. It's the state of mind that you're living in. It's like an athlete when they're doing, if you're a professional basketball player and you're doing drills and you're doing sprints across the gym, or you're doing, burpees, those things look really generic, right? Like skipping rope. That doesn't look like it takes any kind of expert, or it doesn't require artistry. It doesn't require expertise. So why are they all doing it? They're doing it because those are the drills required so that they can be in that magic zone when the ball is thrown their way really quickly. To apply this, I haven't been here for a week. I haven't posted a video since the Lionsgate Portal Tarot Scope. Why? Because my inner voice wasn't calling me here last week. I did a lot of inner work that was extremely transformative and lucrative and inspiring and confirming. I also have to remind myself sometimes to double down on living by divine guidance and what that actually means, practically speaking, day to day. And last week, it meant not doing YouTube videos, expressing my energy through my business in other ways. What's fascinating is that without forcing, I'm back here on a Monday and I really want to make this video. I'm truly called. I don't lack the energy, I don't lack the inspiration, I don't lack the words or the ideas. It's just bubbling up. I used to suffer from procrastination issues, which you could say is related to perfectionism. You want to be high performing, you want to be impressive, you want to get validation and rewards, and then you put all these expectations on yourself that can actually be crippling to performing in the moment. When people ask me about procrastination, I again talk to them about the routine. Again, yes, it is helpful to develop the discipline and the willpower to do a routine. That itself builds a kind of confidence in your abilities to follow through and stick to something and develop consistency, and that's very empowering in and of itself. But I wouldn't be motivated to do it if I didn't see results and if it didn't help me be in flow and make life feel more fun and spontaneous and magic as well. So I very rarely, if ever now, procrastinate. I do love Instagram, but when I'm called to do something, there's no reluctance to me doing it. How is that possible from someone who spent their whole life procrastinating and thought they were ADHD and all of these things? It's because I no longer force myself to do things that are highly unnatural. My faith is so radical in this respect that I even want to do the obligations that I choose for myself a week ago. Because if I'm in flow the week before when I say yes, I know that I will be ready when the event comes because I'm listening to my intuition. I'm letting myself be guided in the decision to say yes to an invitation. So when that event actually comes around, I'm in line with it. There's no resistance to going. The intuition is beyond time and space. Now, I know that not all of you, work from home and have your own schedule, and you're going to have things that you have to do and places you have to be every day sometimes. I did too at a time. I knew that I wanted to live in flow, and this is how I created this life for myself. But my business wouldn't exist if I hadn't started to hand over my will to a divine one, and instead of imposing what I was trying to manifest onto the world from a place of ego or comparison, looking at what was successful for someone else and being like, I need to follow in those steps. When I switched from pushing my agenda mode to being in receiving mode, this is what I was delivered. I was delivered this business. I was delivered the insights about my North Node and the morning routine and manifestation practices and mentors. I was delivered all those things and many other anecdotes that I could tell you that make this business seem like happenstance, but of course it doesn't feel that way. It only looks that way in those moment-to-moment decisions. So I'm bringing this up because I'm talking with a lot of clients about this, and every time I feel that I'm repeating things to clients, or I'm repeating them in blogs, or I'm repeating them in posts, it becomes clear to me that this is something general I just want to share that I feel everyone will benefit from. This is the nuances of following your intuition moment to moment. Now, my divine guidance system led me at one point into sobriety, into a decision to become sober. That was a direct result of my morning routine. If you've watched that video or those videos, I must talk about it multiple times. My divine guidance system also led me into meetings, which eventually became 12-step groups to help me break my relationship and dependency on weed that I had had for 17 years. Okay. Eventually, my divine guidance system actually led me out of 12-step programs, actually led me to reintroduce alcohol when I'm enjoying it with food in very moderate, small amounts. Now that arc, you stop that arc at any part and look at it as like an isolated slice of time, one might panic or one might have doubt. When I'm deciding to be sober, if I think about my whole future and what that means, and it's too daunting, I might not ever have explored quitting weed. If I hadn't just trusted that moment at the time, because that was what my divine guidance was giving me, I might have been like, that's too big of a decision. I can't make that decision. But because I was only looking at that next moment, I was able to do it. I was also able to go to a meeting because I was only thinking about that one meeting that I was guided to, that I was led to. I was able to reintroduce alcohol, which I might have thought was a fatalistic thing and it was going to throw my life back the way it was in the past, and then I had to trust the more dogmatic system of abstinence, which is no disrespect to the 12-step program. I do believe There are many people that need that. And I feel that I should abstain from weed entirely. That's what I've decided to do. But it's been such a joy to realize that I can integrate a nice wine with dinner because I'm a little bit of a foodie. And then I can do it with an absolute sense of moderation. Also, I think due to my morning routine and strong spiritual compass. So I'm saying that because if you take any of those moments in isolation, there might be a mistrust. Because one looks to the past, one looks to the future, one looks to comparison. But I have been practicing relying on my intuition quite radically for long enough to know that I always get the results I want from trusting what the next right action is. So before I change from the subject of 12-step programs, there's so much that are in those programs that I think so many people would benefit from if they only knew about it. You know, I don't think this should be reserved only for people with addictive behaviors, although I think a lot of people have them. Everyone could benefit from these ideas. They've been proven to be so effective for so many different kinds of personalities. And the ones that I want to talk to you about today, the one that has really stuck with me, is this idea of praying for the next right action. Now, when I say praying, it can be like, God guide me. May thy will be done, which is what I used to say. And now I have even just a more casual relationship with it, where I just take a moment, I just look inside and I ask myself, okay, what's the message coming through right now about the next right thing for me to do? And something will invariably pop in my mind. And sometimes it's making a snack. Sometimes it's taking a rest. Like sometimes I'm on my way to do something I think I should do, like work out, and I have the instinct to rest. And I think, oh God, really? Like you're about to do something so positive, like work out, and you're gonna rest? And invariably, if I just trust what that thought and feeling is that first pops in when I take a moment to look inside and ask that question, later I have the urge to exercise, and it comes from an actual guttural desire. It comes from a truthful impetus. I actually desire to do that activity. I'm not forcing it. It finds its right time. So this is really a belief. That's what people say about divine timing, is not imposing the schedule from a fear-based place of willfulness. Doesn't mean you don't have intentions. Please set out your manifestation. Let's be clear about what you want, but also ask to be shown and have what you truly want be clarified to you. I would have never come to this business if I had succeeded in all the things that I was trying to do, that I thought I wanted or that I thought I should want. If those things had worked for me, I wouldn't be doing something that I'm way happier doing, that's better than anything I could have ever imagined. So when I look back, my failure to accomplish what I thought I should want allowed me to switch my perspective into asking what it is that I really need, asking to be shown clarity about my authentic desires, about where I can be in service. And you know, you can pray to energies as well. Like this is something I've started to do recently, and I've seen quite instantaneous results. Goddess of prosperity, please show me the next right action. Divine abundance, what do you need from me right now? Or what is the next step for me to take? Or should I do this thing or not? These things work because you do get an answer. People say, I don't get an answer. You get a sense of what the right thing to do is. You just don't trust where it's coming from. So you have to do away with this notion of, I don't know where it's coming from, so I can't trust it. It's not always important to specify and identify the spirit guides you're talking to, the divinity you're talking to. When I talk to spirit guides, because there's a world of spirits out there, people that have passed on, I prefer to address spirit guides of the highest truth and integrity, or spirit guides that have my best interest at heart. But when one speaks about angels and God, we assume that that energy has our best interest at heart. Now, if you come from a background where, you know, you were raised in a religion where there was a punishing God, maybe for you it is important to reframe. What's important is that in your mind, you're addressing an energy that knows and wants what's best for you, for your most authentic joy, fulfillment, and alignment with your divine path. I challenge you to expand and build and develop your trust muscle by being in constant dialogue throughout the day. Doing that little momentary prayer, and even to call it a prayer might make it intimidating, just asking that question, taking a moment to be still, just like a moment, okay? This doesn't take any more than 3 seconds. What is the next right action? Divine presence, whatever comes to mind, do that thing. See what happens. See how the world doesn't fall apart. See how that little quiet voice, when you listen to it, it doesn't guide you astray. And that trust muscle will get stronger and stronger, and you will become less and less reliant on external forms of direction. Now, I felt not lost last week, but I had a lot of questions, so I doubled down on my morning routine. And, you know, at the time I wanted to drop a lot of money on the best psychics, and, you know, it's always a great thing to do. Psychics are psychics for a reason. They're gifted and they bring so much, and that's what I do. And I'm a medium for people, and I do, you know, tarot readings, and I know they bring value. The reason I emphasize the importance of my course is that we can't always do that, and our psychic is not in our ear every moment throughout the day when we're trying to apply things and really cross-check if what's coming through is real for us. We have to test it out. Like, even what a psychic tells us, we need to apply it, right? And we need to develop that trust within ourselves to integrate these insights into our lives, moment to moment. So without getting these answers from the outside, I doubled down on my morning routine, inviting in divine guidance through prayer at the beginning of the day, expressing myself through morning pages, journaling, automatic writing, and or dream work, doing some kind of circulation, and this could be at different points of the day, but, you know, exercise or breath work, working out, physical activity outdoors to get things circulating so that truth is not being stored and compartmentalized and hidden somewhere in your body. Aligning myself by pulling a tarot, an oracle card, reading the interpretation, setting out goals, intentions, writing out things I want to manifest. That's the align portion. I'm not saying I'm doing all these things. I'm giving you options of what the alignment portion can look like. And then meditation, of course. And meditation, I'm super loose and easy on myself. It can be 3 minutes. It can be 7 minutes. It can be 15. The point is to do it. And then being in receiving mode the rest of the day and treating everything, like that little car alarm that just came in before. It's not an accident to me. I am taking that in as it's time to wrap this up. So without further ado, please trust that little voice. I suggest that you ask it questions so you're not just running on your monkey mind, and act on the answers, see what happens, and let me know how this is working for you. I'm sure it will be working for you, so let me know what interesting things happen. And you might only see some results now, but you're gonna see way more magic down the line, and this really takes hold pretty quickly. So be in touch. Please subscribe, share this video, and I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok now. And you can sign up to my mailing list on my website, and my course, of course, is available there. It is hosted on Teachable, and there's a back to school sale until September 15th, where you can get 25% off, because I know a lot of people like to start a new routine in September, so I thought that would help incentivize people. Thank you so much for listening.